to the topic of women in Islam, there is a huge opening of biased remarks on whether there is feminism within the religion. Feminism being the advocacy for the social political rights and enfranchisement of women equality. In Islam, there has always been equality for Muslims because the obedience they have towards Allah is equal. With that led me to my essential question. How does the negative world image of Islam affect the interpretation of feminism with feminism in the Muslim community? The main points I am focusing on: feminism in the world having a negative view towards Islam, a Muslim woman's Islamic word being a statement of feminism, and how Islam has always had a history of representing women equal to men. First, feminism in the world was first presented in the early 1800s, creating many waves of protest being women's equality marches, women's right to vote, and women's right to education, such as Sojourner Truth, an African American who wrote the speech "Ain't I Woman" to acknowledge equality during slavery, versus Saria, a Latino feminist activist who fought for the governmental rights for people in Honduras, or Malala Yousafzai, who used her voice for education for girls in Pakistan. These women being the first, second, and third wave of feminism who spoke out on women in general, even if they were put in danger. But when it came to Malala's story in America, being known as the girl that got shot in the face, or just the youngest Nobel Peace Prize winner rather than the Islamic feminist, because when Malala speaks on feminism in Islam, many non-Islamic feminists view feminism in Islam to be inadequate. However, had to be inadequate because of lack of equality within Islam. However, Dr. Fatima Sadiq, who has a PhD in Islamic law, states that the sex equality within Islam has always been present, if unrealized, in Muslim history. Second, a Muslim woman's Islamic word is a statement of empowerment that promotes feminism. When it comes to a Muslim woman wearing a hijab, jilbab, niqab, or burqa, many assume that oppression lies behind their wear. As Anna Throughout, a feminist blogger for Huffington Post, points out, these white women wanting to help these Muslim women suffering behind their oppressive wear, without considering how Muslim women feel about the rescue. Such, for example, Femen, a Ukrainian feminist group that tried to free Muslim women by protesting in front of a mosque topless, making it known that they're standing against Muslim women's Islamic wear. As Martin Luther King Jr. stated in his letter of Birmingham jail, a nonviolent direct action seeks to create such a crisis and foster such a tension that a community which has constantly refused to negotiate is forced to confront the issue. Female making this nonviolent protest, but Muslim women having to confront this issue by stating that they did not agree with the message female was putting out. And people who have the same perspective as female believe that they can help Muslim women that are being forced to wear hijab, but yet to realize that it is a choice. Now that Muslim women in the world, Islamic wear is continuing to strive, as media still proceeds to advertise it in an arrogant way, and the world needs to accept the change that a Muslim woman's Islamic wear is a choice that they embody as liberating and not oppressive. Third, finally, Islam is a religion that was created in the 7th century, being the youngest of the major world common religions. Islam promoting peace among all humankind, having about 1.8 billion followers worldwide. Also, Islam being a religion that has equal roles. As Dr. Sharif Abdel Azim stated in this article with the comparison of the Bible and the Quran of the story of the first man and woman, Adam and Eve. As in the Quran, it says Adam and Eve punishment were both equal, as if in the Bible where most of the blame was pointed to Eve. This proves that the Judeo-Christian feminists that claim that Islam does not represent feminists are hypocrites, because the biblical Eve was blamed for her sins and also Adam's sins as well, whereas in the Quran they distribute blame equally. Also in the Hadith of sayings of Prophet Muhammad, Muslim women are viewed as a necessity in Islam. In a lifetime, a woman plays a great role, most fond being mothers. In Islam, once a Muslim woman becomes a mother, it is written that hadith is written beneath her feet. Because women have a way with kindness that are not just valued less than men, but at the same wage. However, many do not see these perspectives in Islam. Ever since 9/11, Islam has always been associated with terrorism and the oppression of their women by many political debates in many countries. The controversial term being used, radical Islam. Radical Islam. and the media promoting these false assumptions, predominantly Muslim women being the main target of these prejudiced remarks that assume that they have no right. But Muslim women aim to clear up these misconceptions of Islam by media sites such as MuslimGirl.com that creates many-to-many connections with Muslim women worldwide, creating global attention for feminism in Islam. After all means, women in Islam are always the first option to negatively be talked about in society, which that creating the negative image of Islam that hates feminism. The solutions being made by Muslims are such as protesting the rights of Islam, or even having the real interpretation of the Quran. Although the solutions would be helpful but not worldwide effective. As Sabah Mahmood, a professor of social cultural anthropology, said, the real key to represent women in Islam as equal to men is not just by the protest or the real interpretation of the Quran. It's when Muslim women are gaining political power that captures the attention of people worldwide, of the same woman that was claimed to be trapped in a oppressive religion is going out in a political role, proving herself to be equal to men and showing the world the true interpretation of feminism in Islam.
What information did you need that you weren't able to find or locate?
One of the information I needed was the true meaning of the Quran, because there are many different sayings of the Quran that just benefits one side, but where is the real meaning? Because many generations passed down, people interpreted the Quran just to benefit themselves. So that was probably one of the hardest ones to find.
What advice would you have for other researchers who consider this topic?
I would say when going to this topic, go from a Muslim woman's stand, go with the Muslim woman's stand and her outside perspectives, because they have two different beliefs, rather than just having your own.
Okay, good job.